Mike, you come to the United States sometimes.
Used to.
When you used to come, did you use cash while you're here? I don't know.
Only when I had to, because I find many things about your version of paper money infuriating and just annoying and useless.
Actually, agree, but we're going to...
Like, why is it all the same size? It doesn't make...
We're going to skip over this.
Okay.
Today, we're going to talk about the $2 bill.
I actually have one of these. It was given to me by a friend. His name's Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Aren't they super rare?
Not as rare as you may think, so don't base your retirement on this.
Okay.
Before we get to all this, though, we need to jump into some currency history.
Oh, boy. That sounds like fun.
It's got to happen. The denomination of $2 was authorized under a congressional act and first issued way back in March 1862 and was used continuously until 1966. Look, there's this whole thing about different types of currency. There were legal tender notes, United States notes, Federal Reserve notes, and we're just going to sidestep all of that, but stick with us for another minute.
The first $2 bill was issued with a portrait of Alexander Hamilton, some 153 years before he was finally made famous by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
You know what? I'm not even going to argue with that.
Have you ever seen Hamilton, Stephen?
No.
While we all reflect on that and the fact that I have seen it 3 times, let me tell you that Hamilton was on the bill for only 7 years, and by 1869, Thomas Jefferson appeared on the tender, which is funny if you know the history. From there, a bunch of tweaks were made over the years, but all of these bills were a lot larger than US currency is today. In 1928, the $2 shrank to the size that we now know it to be.
Beginning in the 50s, production of $2 bills began to decrease. The relative scarcity of the notes led some to start saving any they received, not unlike Beanie Babies, with the inevitable result that the bills would become less common in circulation.
But unlike Beanie Babies, they go down in value over time. In August 1966, this version of the $2 bill was officially discontinued, but still remained legal tender.
So they weren't printing new ones, but if you had one, you could still use it. A decade later, Secretary of the Treasury William E. Simon announced that the government would begin reissuing the bills, putting old Thomas Jefferson back into circulation.
You could say that Thomas Jefferson was coming home. You don't get that joke.
No, I don't.
But it's fine.
Today, bills printed in this initial batch from 76 typically trade for about twice their face value.
I know what I'm going to start saving for my retirement.
$2 bills that are worth $4. Good luck.
Hey, that's doubling your money.
I mean, it is, but in very small increments. More than 500 million series of this style of $2 notes were printed, and a very large number were saved and hoarded by people like Mike upon their original issue. A typical single uncirculated 1976 style $2 bill may only be worth slightly above its face value. An average circulated series 1976 note, so one that was used to buy a Coca-Cola and a hot dog, whatever you did in the 70s with a $2 bill, they basically have no additional value above its $2 face.
Oh, dang it.
I'm sorry. The bills were tweaked again in 1995, 2003, and 2009, with another 500 million or so examples printed.
The current $2 bill was first issued just a few months ago as of this recording, in December 2019, and $2 bills account for just about 1% of the US currency in circulation today.
That does seem kind of rare, right? 1% is not a big number, I think.
That is true, and as they are unusual, they tend to jump out in the real world. For example, there is a documented case of Geneva Steel using $2 bills to demonstrate their importance to the communities in the surrounding Utah County. In 1989, Geneva Steel paid its employees bonuses in $2 bills, so when the bills began to appear in different places, shops, restaurants, and the like, people started to recognize the importance of the company to the local economy, because the more you saw these bills, the more you saw Geneva Steel's money on the move.
That's really clever. I like that.
It's very good. It's very good. Use of the $2 bill is also being suggested by some gun rights activists to show support for the Second Amendment, particularly at stores that allow open carry or concealed carry of weapons on their premises, which is a whole big thing that I don't want to get into. Also, they are commonly used for tipping in gentlemen's clubs.
I wonder how much overlap there is in the group of consumers who care about those two things.
I am not going to land on that grenade for you.
Moving on. The use of $2 bills is also popular among fans and alumni of Clemson University, who often bring notes with them when traveling to university athletic events in other cities, again as a demonstration of their economic impact on an area.
In recent years, some individuals have become ambassadors for the $2 bill in an effort to popularize its use in everyday life. We have a video by one such individual, Casey Neistat, in the show notes.
It's a really good video.
It is a very good video. As you would imagine, a rare currency sometimes causes issues in the real world. It can lead to confusion at points of sale by people who may think that they are fake, like $3 bills.
In 2016, a 13-year-old girl in Texas was detained by police in Fort Bend and prevented from eating lunch that day after attempting to use an old $2 bill to pay for her lunch in the school cafeteria. The bill was so old the school's counterfeit checking ink pen would not work on it.
Your bill's so old, like it sounds like a really weird playground insult. And also an overreaction to the 13-year-old girl buying lunch from school.
Yeah, come on, school cafeteria lady. What are you doing?
Really, I think it's the police that are the problem here. But
they called the police. What are you doing? Everyone overreacted.
That's true. Everybody overreacted.
Yeah.
Including the girl. Why is she doing that? Like, everyone was wrong here.
Look, I know what happened.
Okay.
Her parents have been saving them for retirement.
Yep.
They realized they weren't worth anything. Like, well, we might as well give them to our daughter to go buy pizza at school. And then the whole thing fell apart.
Well, we've all learned something important from this.
Yes, the lesson is saving for retirement is futile. $2 bills. I'd like to thank Madison for sending this topic in. If you have a topic, a strange or weird thing on Wikipedia that you love, send it to us. It'll go on the list for a future episode. You can visit the show notes this week at relay.fm/ungenius/101. There's an email link there where you can send us a topic. There's also a link to become a member to support the show directly, which Mike and I would greatly appreciate. If you're on Twitter, you can send topics there as well. The show is at Ungeniused. You can find Mike on Twitter as IMYKE, iMike, and you can follow me on Twitter as ISMH. And until our next congressional act, Mike, say goodbye.
Bye.
Adios.